So without putting your professional credibility, reputation on the line, et cetera, you're around people who study this stuff for a living, who are the most knowledgeable people on this topic in the world.
Yes.
What is their general sense of what this might be?
That this is not from Earth.
Right. That it's not from Earth, that this is these are aliens, essentially.
And, you know, until I see a piece of technology that does something I don't understand, or until I see an alien body, I'm going to also remain skeptical.
Of course, as you should.
But it doesn't mean I won't study it. And people say, well, why, if you are so skeptical still, you're studying it? Because it's the most important thing that could have ever
Of course, but that's why we cover it on the show. Not because I have no special knowledge. I know nothing, really. But
why could
by definition, it's the most important. So is the general belief that these objects, whatever this is coming from outside our atmosphere, or that it's coming from beneath the oceans?
Both, I think. I mean, whatever it is, it's clearly been here for a long time. And it doesn't necessarily care so much about us, but in terms of, you know, if it wanted to wipe us out, it could.
Clearly, obviously.
All you got to do is go out to the asteroid belt and push a big rock our way, and that's the end of us with the next dinosaur problem. So the next question is, well, if they've been here all along, before we were even civilized, well, whose planet is this really?
And do you think that there is evidence that this is an ongoing thing?
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know if you know the astronomer and venture capitalist Jacques Vallée. You probably heard his name.
Of course, yes.
And so he's actually a good friend. You know, he's written books about the matter, showing that if you go back into the historical records, things written by the scientists and philosophers and mayors and kings of the day, you know, it's in the record. This object was seen, it looked like a wheel, or it looked like a shield, and it showed up over our battles, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So you can go back and recontext the observations and say, well, if somebody wrote that today, I'd call it a UFO or a UAP, right?
Of course.
So it's been here. I think really, you know, one thing you have to ask is, well, why do they show up? And maybe it's just, and why don't they land? That's a question I often get asked is, well, why would you? I mean, do you try to establish diplomatic relations with the ants in your garden when you move into a new house? Right. No, you do what you want, and you dig up the yard, and you do as you please. You try not to interfere with them. You know, if there's a nest of birds, you're not going to interfere. You're going to try not to bother them. So, because you've got your own business going on. You're doing your own thing. So what that thing is, I don't know.